Antigravity 2 is totally new beast. It has kept the version 1 as the Antigravity IDE. So it becomes much more as it supports multiple sub-agents. Google's Antigravity 2 splits the original AI development platform into two distinct desktop applications. Antigravity 2 is a pure agent chat workspace optimized for parallel sub-agents and background tasks. Antigravity IDE retains the classic code editor as like the Windsurf code editor. As you see, I am having Windsurf code editor. It is similar, or it felt like very much same as the Antigravity version 1. It is a simple code editor along with chat and code writing and reading simulations. There is some difference in the core, like the original Antigravity, the version 1 and the version 2 represents two different approaches to the AI development. Antigravity 2, it can inference, it can manage workflow, model restrictions, and it is best used for code generations and managing all those sub-agents. Alongside that version 2, Google also replaced the Gemini CLI with a new Antigravity CLI. So previously I used Gemini CLI, now we can use Antigravity CLI. Both works the same. You get some free tokens. That means there is a limit how much you can communicate and how much the AI can generate tokens for you, whether it is giving some information, whether it is writing or reading your code. Before it can write some codes, it must have some context for your existing projects. That is the reason why it takes so much of input tokens. There are some clever technology and techniques even Cloud CLI uses, that is the caching and replace mechanism. That is the reason it is efficient for the cloud code. Now it's time I would explore if it can compete with the Cloud CLI. Like there are so many CLI agents out there. Many of them are open source. You can simply connect those CLI agents to your existing Olama or even other API endpoints that points to your own local system. That means you can host all of your data and the AI computing system within your own computing servers. That means if you are having a small company or even a large tech company, or even you are writing your code on your own basement, you can set up a AI capable system and you can host Olama or different kind of AI generative API platform, and you can connect all those APIs to the agentic CLI. I understand all those are a form of agentic CLI, whether it is Antigravity, whether it is Gemini CLI, Pi CLI. There are many I have tried, but I have found the Cloud CLI to be the most efficient and it understands your whole context. So first few months ago, the Cloud CLI codes was eventually leaked, and all of us came to know like each and every code behind those CLIs like managed by simple JavaScript and TypeScript. That is the reason why I understood like why my daily driver laptop goes so slow when I run those CLI commands. Now let's try the Antigravity. If I see the version 2.0.1 is available to download, I am not having so much money, so I will skip the DMG, and I am not having a gaming requirement, or even I am not a Pandu, so I will skip the Windows one. For Linux, previously I remember they used to give the Debian package. That means you get a .deb. But I suddenly understood like if I go to the release version 1.2, 3.2, even that now I see a direct download link for the tar, and even it is having a ggif extension. That means the download would be much smaller. Let me see how much the download is. There is a lot of libraries are packed within it. Along with this, we have different locales. That means various language it can support. Yes, it can support DE and VN. Even it can support Bengali. It is quite unexpected to see so much thing in a like 200 MB binary. Let's unpack this within my apps folder. It will take a while. Wow, it was like a moment. Now let me see if it can open. Fish. Hey, I'm using my own system. By the way, this is not my daily driver. And by the way, I use Arch. No, I missed that part. I use Arch, by the way. Whatever, it is powered by Arch, but technically it is GoPOS powered by Arch Linux, having Linux the kernel and CashewOS, especially the CashewOS kernel I'm having on this system. I will come back along with all those information, especially the kernel. I will bash the kernel and kerneling systems so hard, like cd apps anti-gravity. By mistake I only extracted the localist folder. Was not good. Let me remove the extracted application, reopen the downloaded anti-gravity, and let's extract. Now I think I'm having all those binaries. Now it is time to open the anti-gravity. Loading anti-gravity. Nice simple animation. Let me try to log in with my Gmail account. By the way, the redirection is not working. Let me show you. The link handler is not working, but look at those animations, how good it felt. Those animations, click here, open. All of a sudden it started working. It seems like VS Code under the hood. Each and everyone knows it is VS Code under the hood, built with Google Android. How do I make anything on Android development? You people already banned me from Android development, so I don't need any kind of plugins or something else. Gemini Flash, fast, low, high, thinking, medium. Okay, I got various models to choose from. If I open, I will not be able to open something within it, but let me go to the caddy manager application. This is the like ultimate check. Can you suggest improvement on this project located at here? Let me see. It is asking for read access. Let me give you the access. I'll be able to change this by going to the preferences. As you see, all those files are getting analyzed. I'm not sure how do I increase the font size. Do you know how to increase? My known shortcuts are not working. As I see, zoom in, zoom out, view, zoom in. There is no shortcut. I'll have to use the mouse only. Why the mouse was invented? I was waiting for that this day only, when I had to use or have to use mouse. It has found some critical state consistency bug. I'm not sure why it is providing like those 4 points. There at least should be 7 or 8 points. UI UX, I don't need any kind of UI UX improvement over here. Security enhancement, storing API keys directly in the SQL rather than flat files. I would like to go with only this one. So the third and fourth options are not needed. We have developed this way. Redundancy and fragility in caddy API calls. The system currently writes static caddy snippet file, and so again the redundancy is needed. That is not fragility. We need redundancy. Like if you want to update the caddy file, see how the caddy works perfectly fine by using the caddy file and by using the API. If you use the API, it will not restart the application, so that all of your existing domain do not restart. That means simply you don't get any downtime, but you can able to add multiple domains. That is the reason why we use the caddy API. But why we add the caddy file also? That is because whenever you restart caddy, it forgets all those API calls. By the way, there are some way to like keep retain those API calls, but those are not easy ones, or those are not so much reliable ones. So we made this intentionally, that we make the API call, along with that we made the caddy file, so that the all those informations are being saved. Do only one thing, critical state. Do only this bug. Let me see how fast and how efficiently it does this task. Let me allow all those things, as it needs the right permission. I think it will be able to make some right changes. Git status, working directory is clean. That means no right. Yes, now it is asking for the right permission. Yes, go ahead, right, and let me see what are the changes you have made. It would be much nicer if I able to see only the diff. What are the diff? I will not bore you people. Just I'll push all those codes so that you also can view by yourself. And right now it is asking whether it can execute some commands. Let him give the permission to make command calls. I already written some test mechanism, go test, and I think it is going through all those tests. Yes, I see 3 OKs are there. That means it is ready to go. That is understandable. Now let me see the git status. Only handlers file is updated. What if I type git if? I see still it seems quite a good. Git add handlers. I have added git commit change by anti. This is our first change by Antigravity 2. One file changed, 59 insertion and 13 deletion. More or less 40 or 40 plus lines have been added. I will make some performance checks and granular edit. Before I do that, I must go for other rants. Like, let me see what is Linux Foundation. This is Linux Foundation, and those are the key people. Like, about leadership, Manish Dixit is now SVP. That means, I assume, Senior Vice President of Engineering. There is no engine in Linux, and it is having a Linux Foundation organization, and it needs a senior something engineering. Okay, I got it. But how come this Linux Foundation organization is having chief financial officer? I was like devastated when I came to know like there is a organization called Linux Foundation, and they needs a lot of money and they earn somehow a lot of money. But let me show you, Linux Foundation makes 300 million in 2025. That means the last year, and spends only 2.6%, not even 3%, on Linux, the kernel, and says AI is the future. I must listen to this guy in details, like what the F freedom is going over here. Plus, I must mention this guy. This person also like mentioned some useful information on his video. The Linux Foundation doesn't use Linux to create their reports. That means they have must been uploading some reports or something else, and they are not even using the Linux as the kernel. They are using like Mac OS, Windows, something else. I have watched this piece of video like years ago, and even I don't see Linus Torvalds as the Linux operating system creator. He was the initiator of the Linux kernel, and the GNU operating system was like driven by another person, Richard Stallman or similar persons. But I respect Linux Torvalds as the creator of Git, the version manager I nowadays use just for the sake of being in the team. Like now I am with Silicon Pin, and each and every member knows Git as the version manager. They don't know SVN Mercury, they don't know anything else. So I had to use Git, and as I understand, GitHub, each and every website, even our own repository browser called Silicon Git, it is at git.siliconpin.com. So it is even hosted by the Git and Go. By the way, Go is a perfect language for like newcomers, even if you are willing to write some beginner low level codes, or even you are trying to create a website, you are trying to create some kind of APIs, even you are trying to create some kind of network related applications. All those are possible within this one language, but there are some dependency of libc. Those are the issue I have found. Like there are various libc dependency built into the Go. So, and eventually I remember one interview of Linus Torvalds where he himself mentioned as the poster boy of Linux, and I searched that video, and like even Google could not find, or like even YouTube could not find the video. So I will continue the search and keep you update if I find anything like that. And let me explain this piece of software. Like this is Crow. It was my first helping hand